Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to be sharing a few lessons that I've learned in my career path as a freelance videographer, just some things that have been on my mind over the last couple of weeks that I learned via growing pains that I want to share with you all today so that you don't have to go through the same things that I went through. But before that, let's roll the intro. We're gonna go over 7 lessons that I have learned over the 3.5 years of my freelance videography career. If this is your first time stumbling onto my channel and you're wondering what my credentials are, I've had the opportunity of working with companies such as Apple Music, Spotify, Netflix, Under Armour, Jordan Brand, Montclair, CFDA. I've shot fashion weeks in New York, Milan, and Paris. Last year, I won an MTV Video Music Award as a drone cinematographer for Her's music video, I Can't Breathe. We also won a European Music Award for that same video. I've done a lot, I've been through it all, I've come across a lot of people, and these lessons are just something that are very general to an extent, but just something that you should know if you want to be a freelance videographer, photographer, or just a creative in general, because it applies to everyone. Before all of that, I wanted to share a few things that I've been working on over the last few weeks because I've been really busy. Work is coming back and I've just been super excited to just share what I've been working on. The first thing that I wanted to talk about was last Thursday, I shot Billie Eilish's album release party here in Los Angeles. It was a project for Spotify that I was contracted through a creative agency that I freelance for called Happy Monday. I can't show you everything that went on behind the scenes, but I did film this 15-second clip that made it onto Spotify's Instagram story, that made it onto Billie Eilish's Instagram story, and it's just a short clip of her celebrating at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time when her album dropped, and it was a very organic moment, so check it out. The second thing that I worked on over the last week was this past Saturday was actually NBA player DeMar DeRozan's birthday party. He turned 32 years old. My good friend Nikki Boutte, who we had a sit-down interview with last week, I'll link that here if you haven't checked it out yet, go check it out. She is DeMar's personal photographer and she brought me on to create the recap video for his birthday party. That video isn't out yet because it's being saved for a bigger project that DeMar is putting on, but here's a behind the scenes clip of when DeMar arrived to the party. You can see me filming and you can see his reaction to just all his friends and family surprising him. Lastly, I was contracted by Netflix to create a promo video for Paris Hilton's new show on Netflix called Cooking with Paris. We created a promo video in West Hollywood, California with Gottmik, who is a drag queen who impersonates Paris Hilton to a T. I can't show you the full video because of copyright reasons. I'm going to link it in the description below. It is on Netflix's Instagram account as well as Paris Hilton's Instagram account. But here's one of the 15-second teasers that I had to create out of the whole 1 minute and 45-second full-length video. Check it out.
Plaza.
I love you so much.
I love you too. Let's make a Paris margarita.
All right, that's a lot. Let's get you into these lessons so that you can have longevity in this game. These 7 lessons are super important, things that I have learned the hard way, and the sooner you learn these tips, lessons, whatever you want to call them, the more longevity you're going to have in this game. These are often a lot of questions that some of you reach out to me with via Instagram. So let's dive right into it. I'm going to layer all this advice with some footage that I've been filming at the Drew League over the last couple of weeks, just so you don't have to stare at my face the entire time. So enjoy that, but make sure you're listening and paying attention to what I'm saying because it's super key. The first thing that I wanted to stress is save your money. Especially if you're starting out, it takes a really long time to be making good, consistent, livable money in this career path. Especially if you're an adult, if you wanna pay for your rent, if you have your car payment, your car insurance, your iPhone, your phone bill, your groceries, everything adds up. And in order to be able to pay for all of that, you have to be making good, consistent money with this. And it doesn't always happen right away. For me, it took about 1.5 to 2 years to be making good, livable money. And even then, you know, I was still trying to be as frugal as I could, and I was still living basically paycheck to paycheck. So make sure you keep your expenses as low as possible. If that means you have to move back with your parents, do so. If you have to buy off-brand grocery products, do so. Camera equipment is really expensive, and if you want to have the best equipment that you can possibly own, you're gonna have to keep your expenses as low as possible. So I would say you should save up to 6 months of an emergency fund. That's just standard life advice. But if you want to have longevity in this career, I can't stress it enough. Just save your money. Keep your expenses as low as possible, because in order to just live, if you want to retire one day, you're gonna have to work your way up to those projects that are gonna pay you $10,000, $20,000 per project. At the beginning, it's gonna be a couple $100s, maybe. My first paid gig ever was $150. Take it with a grain of salt. You know, if you have to have a 9-to-5 job in order to, you know, complement this career path because it's something that you're really passionate about and you really want to do it. Don't be ashamed. Don't feel like you only have to do videography, photography in order to be a person who is a creative. If you're really about it like that, do anything you have to do in order to have longevity and make it in this. But lesson 1, save your money, trust me. Lesson number 2, equipment does matter. Regardless of what anyone will tell you, I've said it before that equipment doesn't matter. Equipment does matter at a certain point. Someone who has a $500 DSLR camera is not gonna have the same opportunities as someone with a $50,000 Red Cinema camera. It just doesn't even compare. However, if you're just starting out and you only can afford a $500 camera, if you only can afford a point and shoot film camera and you wanna get into photography, that is absolutely fine. When you're starting out, don't focus on the equipment. Focus on what you have and focus on creating. That's gonna be the key in order to get you those first paid clients that'll lead to more and more paid clients. If you have a $500 camera, create with that. Create a style. You reach out to people. People at the end of the day are gonna reach out to you for your intangibles. That is, are you easy to work with? Are you consistent? Are you reliable? Do you consistently put out good work? Those are the things that a camera equipment doesn't teach you. You know, these are things that you should implement into your workflow and just your persona, which will get you consistently more hired, which will bring higher paying projects, which will give you more money to buy that higher end equipment. Until you get there, until you can work your way up to nicer cameras, don't even worry about it. Shoot with what you have, and that's all that matters. But don't let anyone tell you that you need a specific camera, even though at a certain point you will. Work with what you have, trust me. The third lesson that I've learned is to be flexible with clients and be easy to work with. At the end of the day, companies are hiring you to create what they feel is best for their audience. They know their audience better than you know their audience. Regardless, don't ever think you're above the company, because that's not true. Sometimes you might send them a final video and you might think it's the best work that you've ever put out, but then they will break it down completely. They'll tell you to change a million things. You might feel defeated. You might feel even offended, because at the end of the day, you are the creative that they hired, but you were hired in order to deliver their vision with a little bit of your style. You need to be able to be flexible and don't take things personally, because at the end of the day, there's money on the line and they're just trying to get the best return on investment. Remember, this is an investment for them. Their goal is to use this video in order to promote whatever product, their company, in order to drive more revenue to their business. So you need to understand that, and understand that it's not personal. They really just want the best product for their buck. So if you have a client who has a million revisions, make sure you include that in your contract so that you're charging for all of those revisions, but don't ever take it personally, because it's really not even that serious. Like, you really just have to deliver what they want. The fourth lesson that I've learned, ghosting happens. At any point of your career, I get ghosted still by clients to this day, just like with friendships, with dating, whatever. At a certain point, maybe people stop responding. You know, it is what it is. I've had people reach out to me and we have a meeting, we go through whatever they want to shoot. I put a deck together, I put in a lot of time and energy, I send it to them, and then they just stop replying. And that's just how the game goes. It's just part of the industry. Unfortunately, I think it's really, really unprofessional if someone ghosts you within a business setting, but some people may not always feel like that. You know, they might be afraid of confrontation, or they just feel bad. Whatever it is, maybe they canceled the project, maybe they found someone else, maybe they had budget cuts, maybe they couldn't afford you. There could be a million reasons, and you may not always get closure on what that reason was. But just don't take it personally. It does happen at every point of your career. It still happens to me. It sucks every single time, but you just got to keep pushing forward, because there's other clients out there who won't ghost you and who will hire you. The fifth thing, and it's kind of similar to ghosting, it's get comfortable with rejection. Rejection always happens. I have people who reach out to me via Instagram who are afraid. They say, Saul, I'm afraid to reach out to someone because, what if they say no, whatever. they're gonna say no. Hundreds of people are gonna say no to you, but that's part of the process. It only takes one person to say yes that will change your life, that one opportunity. But in order to get to that one opportunity that does say yes, you're gonna have to go through 100 no's. So again, similar to like friendships or dating, like you're gonna get rejected, and the sooner you become comfortable with rejection, the better off you're gonna be in the long run. So reach out to people, get comfortable with it. Don't be afraid, because it happens to everyone, trust me. The next thing, always, always, always create. If you're not getting hired, doesn't matter, create something. It might be a sample commercial for an iPhone. It might be a sample commercial for a water bottle. You know, get a group of friends together, like whatever it is, like make those spec advertisements that you can post on TikTok, on Instagram. I've been seeing people who just post work that they do for fun on those social media accounts, and companies are reaching out to hire them because they love what they're doing. No one is gonna find you. Like, you have to be putting out work in order for people to hire you. So, you know, if you're not getting hired for the time being, or you're just starting out and you wanna be a fashion videographer or fashion photographer, get friends, put outfits together, do a cool little video, send it to people, put it on your Instagram, hashtag the shit out of it, you know? In order to make it in this career, you always need to be creating or testing or doing work that you feel passionate about and work that you want to get hired for. Other than that, it won't happen. That's the way I got hired to shoot with basketball players like DeMar, like how I got hired to shoot with like people like Billie Eilish or shoot Fashion Week. It was all about creating, especially when I was starting out. Those can be portfolio pieces that you can use as leverage. Once you get hired by companies, you can use those pieces as leverage for your portfolio instead of those spec ads that you created. So lesson number 6, always, always, always create, because that's what we do. We're creators. The final thing kind of ties all back in. You always have to reach out to potential clients. When you're starting out, no one is gonna find you. Trust me. You might have friends and family who might recommend you to other people, but if you want to get these bigger opportunities, you need to reach out to social media managers. You need to reach out to producers. Go on LinkedIn, find people who work at these companies and offer your services. Use some of these ads that you're making for fun with your friends. Use those pieces of content and send them to these people to show them what you have. I'm always reaching out to people via Instagram DM, via email, just because I want to get work and I want to make it in this career path. And in order to make it into this career path, you need to be reaching out to people. However, make sure that your messages are concise and make sure that they're extremely, extremely professional. This is a business at the end of the day, and you want to be treated with respect as a professional. Don't be sending people DMs like, hey, let's shoot, with like typos and poor grammar. Like, you're never gonna get a response. What I like to send is something really short, something like, hey, my name is Saul Lopez. I'm a content creator based out of Los Angeles, California. I've worked with companies such as X, Y, and Z. Here are some example videos that I've created for these companies. Feel free to reach out with any questions. Would love to create for you. Something short and simple. They may leave you unread. They may never get back to you. They might respond to you a year later and they'll hire you. You never know. It's all about planting those seeds, because it's a numbers game at the end of the day. You really just want to get your name out there as much as possible, your work in front of as many eyeballs as possible in order to get hired. Kind of went on a little bit of a tangent there. I get really, really passionate about, you know, people wanting to do this as a career path, because it's possible for everyone. There's hundreds of videographers who are way, way better than me, but I'm blessed and privileged in order to have these opportunities that always come to me, just because, like I mentioned before, I'm consistent, I'm easy to work with, I'm reliable, and I always get the job done well and in a timely fashion. Try to instill some of these pillars into your life. I hope these lessons were helpful, they're beneficial, and can maybe put you at ease, because everyone goes through this. Maybe you related to only one of these lessons that you've experienced already, but every single person who is a videographer or creative has gone through something similar. We've all had to learn the hard way. So hopefully you don't have to learn the hard way, and this video helped. If there's still any questions that were left unanswered or that you're curious about, leave them in the comments below. DM me on Instagram at Saul Lopez. I respond to every single person, and it really, really means so much to me with anyone who reaches out, you know, via the comments or Instagram. I love interacting with you. I love, you know, creating a sense of community here. So please continue to do so. I am always available at your disposal. But with that, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next week. Thanks so much. Stay safe out there. Peace.
I might just hit it through a horn. That's on my element. I like dark skins, love a melanin. Talk, pushing in the tongue when I'm stepping in.